What is up, guys? I am officially back here with another video, not just any video, getting right back into the college basketball department side of things. I haven't really uploaded a whole lot lately, had a lot happen as of late, of course, but now we're trying to get focused. Of course, or I'm trying to get focused now since we're officially now into the month of February. Happy February 1st, everyone. It's the night of February 1st as we speak. Figure I'd do this video for you guys because I wanted to do something different that I don't see a lot of people do. Then again, though, I don't search a crazy amount of different channels when it comes to men's college basketball. But so I'm gonna give you guys something from a different perspective. I'm gonna give you guys a tier list, basically a tier ranking video. There are like 61 teams I'm gonna go through. I'm not gonna go through all of them too much in depth because this video is gonna run over an hour if I do that, and we ain't got time for all that. This video is gonna run a little lengthy, but hopefully this gives you a little bit of insight on who, a little bit of decent insight on who I kind of like so far right now. This is kind of like a bracketology in a way, but not really because, like, again, I'm kind of giving you guys my opinion on who's got the potential, what's one team's ceiling or floor, or ceiling and floor, and let's get straight into it, guys. The season's been crazy. We're only like 6 weeks away from March Madness. Selection Sunday is on March 17th, and let's get straight into it. Let's start off with the first team here, Illinois. Oh, by the way, too, I have T-Rank pulled up here on my tablet here, so I can kind of get some insight a little bit on some teams I don't really know much about. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I know every team because I've been struggling to watch some of the games this year. It's just been one of those things lately. So Illinois, the Big Ten is down this year. We know that. A lot of teams in the Big Ten are kind of struggling. Illinois has a pretty good team. I feel like they do. I feel like they can shoot the ball better, especially with Marcus Damask stepping up. Can they get over the hump and finally get to the Final Four? And they haven't been to the Sweet 16 since 2005. We're going to put Illinois. I think Illinois is capable of being in the Sweet 16 Elite 8 region. I think they can make the Final Four if they have a good region, honestly. I think they're just that good. But then again, though, they've had some head-scratching losses. They lost to Northwestern on the road. Northwestern's always one of those teams that's kind of feisty. They have been feisty lately, more on them later. St. John's, the Johnnies. St. John's is a very interesting team. I feel like they could pull off some upsets in the tournament. According to T-Rank, their defensive rebound efficiency is not very good. I do like Soriano down low. But I'm going to say right now, Johnny's win one game at least. I think Patino, obviously the veteran coaching will come into play with them. Defensively, they've been getting better. St. John's, kind of keep your eye on them down the stretch. St. John's could make a sneaky run to the Big East title game. You never know. Oregon's good offensively. They're not good defensively. I think that's pretty obvious. We saw the game you watched games like against Arizona. You watched against Georgia, even the first game of the season. Well, there's not as much to take away from the first game of the season. I'm just saying, though. Oregon, of course, is one of the better teams, I think, on offense. I think they can win one game. I don't know about making the second weekend. Oregon, I think, is going to make the tournament, but I don't think they're going to be a very high seed. I see them being close to the play-in, actually. Colorado State. Colorado State's been getting a lot of attention this season. It's because of their wins early in the season over Colorado. They've beaten a couple of other teams, too. This is a Colorado State team that really is engineered by Isaiah Stevens' play. I do worry that if Isaiah Stevens doesn't really get going, that this is a team that could severely lack in productivity. Their rebounding metrics aren't exactly the greatest. According to T-Rank, their tempo is on the lower side, but I feel like Colorado State plays a little quicker than what it suggested to me here. Colorado State, I'm going to put them in again. There's going to be probably a lot of teams, too, that ends up here in the one game, second weekend thing, because there's a lot of teams that kind of feel like their ceiling is around the same. But then again, though, you got to really kind of think about it when you're analyzing things, because you got to be careful with that. Alabama just had to make a comeback against Georgia. Mark Sears really led the way with that one, especially. Alabama's got a really nice offensive pace. Their aggression can definitely throw teams off. This is going to be risky, but I think Alabama can get back to the second weekend. I think they're capable of doing it. As of right now, their defense just isn't good. They're ranked 70th on T rank, but effective field goal percentage they're number 3 in the nation. That means that they are efficient in their shot making, and you could see it too when they play. I mean, they play with such they have such a great offensive IQ. I just worry about the defensive end. Obviously, that's not really something that's a surprise to anybody. Now, Auburn. This is a tricky one. Auburn does not have a quad 1 win yet. I do wonder if Auburn is legit. They're ranked number 3 in T rank. They have the 3rd best defensive efficiency. I'm not really sure though, man. They are a faster team, though. We saw that against Baylor. We've seen it against Alabama. You watch some games like, they tore Ole Miss up. They absolutely just destroyed them. They play again on Saturday, I believe. Auburn, I like this is a team that's got playmakers. Janai Broom's a good forward. Their guards have been smarter, per se, in terms of shot selection. This is another risk. I think I'm going to put Auburn in the second weekend because I think they can do it. But then again, is it feasible? Baylor, I feel like Baylor and Alabama are similar in terms of their offensive pacing. Now, Baylor has... I feel like Alabama on paper has the... It's hard to really say. I think Alabama's a slight edge, I think, in my opinion, on the offensive end. Baylor, though, has a great... scoring drive and honestly depth as well, but they can really let up a lot. They can let up a lot of big plays. I'm not as confident with Baylor, man. Then again, though, this is why maybe me putting Alabama in the second weekend versus Baylor. I mean, Baylor's evolving. This is almost an entirely new team this year. Alabama's got some pieces from last year. I think that's one of the bigger differences with why I put Alabama in the second weekend. BYU is picked towards the bottom of the Big 12, and look what they're doing. BYU is a very good team. Their free throw shooting could come back and hit them. They're not. they're one of the worst in terms of free throw efficiency. They do rank 3rd in 2-point percentage and 57th in efficiency here on T rank. I almost want to keep saying KenPom because I usually look at a KenPom, but I think BYU is a second weekend team right now. I really do. Ali Khalifa, Waterman, these guys are really just go-getters. This entire BYU team is not afraid to go for it. This is a really good team. Love this team. Tennessee. I wonder about this Tennessee team because it's almost like you've seen the whole thing before, and we have. Sakai Ziegler's now healthy. But, in the last couple years, this Tennessee team, when it matters most, they can't get it done on the offensive end. So that's why Rick Bart's brought in Dalton Kennett from Northern Colorado. And Kennett's been kind of like the knight in shining armor for Tennessee. I want to put Tennessee in the Final Four. I can't do it. I can't do it right now. Because I feel like Vescovi and Ziegler, as an overall basis, I feel like they haven't evolved a whole hell of a lot. Now, is that a bit harsh to say? Most likely, but the thing is, why is it that Tennessee is always in the same rut when it comes down to it, when you get to the nitty-gritty? You tell me. Arkansas. Boy, this team has been really, really disappointing. I mean, Arkansas's efficiency numbers are pretty bad. They're the 111th on T rank. They have better defensive efficiency. I mean, how in the world is that possible? Arkansas is ranked 9th in free throw, but everything else is mid to horrible. Their 3-point, it's almost like the moves they made just this time just weren't gelling together. I don't know if it was more. When you look at the roster on paper, you would expect this team to be better than what they are right now. You would expect it, but no, they have been very underwhelming this year. Arkansas, outside looking in for sure. I mean, they're gonna have to go on a huge run to make a tournament. I think they're gonna miss a tournament. Cincinnati's really surprising me. They why is it that this team struggle? Like they lost to Xavier. I feel like they're okay. Then they really start showing up in the Big 12. Like Cincinnati's defense is good. I mean, they really can slow you down. Like against Kansas, we've seen it against, I wouldn't say TCU. They had to score a little bit against TCU, but we've seen these games where Cincinnati can definitely push you. They're really, I mean, Cincinnati is good rebounding team, good efficient rebounding team that really helps win games, especially. I'm gonna put Cincinnati and wins one game. I'm gonna do it. I like their metrics, man. Their metrics kind of telling me they can win a game at least in March. North Carolina. Okay, North Carolina is a. I feel like North Carolina is a team. They could run the table or just slip up at the wrong time and lose early. Now, you look at their team and you just see stars across the board. Baycott, Davis, Ingram's been a great addition. Cormac Ryan's stepped up when he needed to. Elliot Cadeau's been playing better. North Carolina's a hard team to stop, man. They are a hard team to stop. Davis has been really taking over a lot. I will say though, it's interesting that their 2-point percentage efficiency is not as good as you would think because of the playmakers they have. North Carolina is a little tedious. I'm gonna put them in the second weekend. I almost put them in the Final Four, but I can't do it for some reason. I'm a little nervous about them. I don't know why. Dayton. I think Dayton's getting a little too much love, and I hate to be that guy. I really, really do. But you're talking a Dayton team who's really engineered by one guy. It's Darren Holmes. Okay, Darren Holmes can do it all. He's a do-it-all forward. I feel like Dayton is getting a little bit too much. I don't know. Then again, though, Dayton, their tempos, according to T Rank, their tempos on the slower end. I've barely been able to watch Dayton, but I've kind of keep up with them a little bit. Great efficient field goal percentage. I think a lot of it has to do with Holmes, but then again, they do have some pieces around him. But I don't know, man. I think due to Holmes alone, they could win a game. I do. Again, a lot of this, and by the way, a lot of this depends on matchup. Matchup is going to be so important to tournament this year. I would honestly not regard seeding as much this year. Duke's next. I think Duke is failing to improve on the things I was hoping they would. I feel like their toughness level still being questioned in my opinion. Can barely get by Clemson. They have a big game against North Carolina. I think North Carolina is going to win that game. They just lost on the road against Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech's been giving everyone problems this season. Duke is a team, though, on paper. I think Duke is better than what some people think. They can play well, obviously, especially when you're talking with the key veterans like Jeremy Roach and Proctor and Filipowski. But the problem is, one of the bigger issues I've been seeing, their interior defense has just not been good. Like they're letting a lot of teams score in the paint. I saw a stat where it was like ridiculous. They had just played who the heck was it? Duke had let some teams score a bunch in the paint. Virginia Tech. 36 of their points were in the paint. I'm like, what? It was like they're letting teams score so much on the inside. I worry about that. I still think Duke can make the Sweet 16, maybe Elite 8. I'm not very sure about that. Houston. Pretty simple. All the way to the top. Listen, man. I'm going to get flack for this because people are going to be like, well, Houston struggled early on in the Big 12. They barely beat A&M. They barely beat Xavier. Listen, all I'm going to tell you is this. When you have a defensive culture like what Kelvin Sampson's built with Houston, and you got the guys who could score just enough of like Shed and Cryer. By the way, Cryer has been amazing when he needs to be. This is a team that has national championship written all over him. I think this might be the year they get back to the national championship. I like Houston a lot. It ain't just because they're number one in team rank, and I think they're number one in KenPom too, but it's because their style of play is so ferocious that most teams will not be able to hang on the entire way. Now, granted, you saw like in a game against Miami in the tournament last year where because Miami can really shoot the three well. You need to be able to shoot the three well against Houston, but even then, they really press you on the three line. Houston's not a big 3-point shooting team. I would say they're not really a gigantic offensive powerhouse. But the thing is, and that's one thing that kind of could be concerning with Houston. Because they get into a game against, say, Tennessee, that might be a problem. Even Alabama could be a problem. Alabama's given Houston problems in the last couple years. So it depends. But Houston, I think they match up well against a lot of teams. All right, enough blabbering on about Houston. Miami's another team that's been disappointing. What do you even expect from Miami this year? This is a team that has, we know their offense is good, but their defense is just really below average. Below average might be being too nice. Their free throw shooting is terrible from what I'm seeing. Miami, they're projected to make the tournament, I think, right now. But you know what? I'm not really sure they're going to win a game. Nebraska. Nebraska's been kind of the, I want to call them, they're kind of like the, what do you want to call it? Feel-good story, the Big Ten? Yeah, feel-good story in relation to Big Ten, like I said. Nebraska's got Kasai Tominaga. He has been playing very well. This Nebraska team's pushing it, man. Fred Hoiberg's been really pushing this team this year. I think it might end up paying off. I think Nebraska can win a game. I really think this might be Nebraska's year to win a tournament game. They're not messing around, man. They beat Purdue. I know. It's almost impossible to be a team that shoots 61% from three, but if you can stay consistent with shooting the three well, you're going to win some games. I mean, come on. It's not rocket science, people. Nebraska, not great defensively. Matter of fact, I'm trying to find Nebraska on here. I can't see them on here. Yeah, Nebraska's not, like, they're 55th in efficiency overall because their defense just isn't good. But I wouldn't say they're kind of like Miami, but they just have, like, Rink Mass has been great too. Oklahoma. I feel like Oklahoma's a more balanced team, but man, I don't know what to think of this team because they've been hit or miss lately, man. They've been kind of more miss as of late, actually. Speaking of Ole Miss, they're next. Oklahoma, they have one of our tougher defenses, and it's because of Porter Moser. I think that's pretty simple. Defending a 3 well efficient rate from what the site says on here. As of right now, the way they've been playing lately, I think I'm going to put them in a 1-game territory because they're not cutting it right now, man. I feel like they got good guards. Like Owa has been playing well. When he needs to, you have McCollum. But, yeah, this is a team that's been kind of inconsistent lately. Ole Miss. I have been suspicious of this team. This is a team that has some size, but they cannot play defense. Their defense is atrocious. They have decent guards. I don't feel like Ole Miss is a star-studded team, but they have solid pieces like Musa Cisa, Jamarian Sharp, Matt Morrell. But I mean, this Ole Miss team, man. Like they could play fast. But Auburn really kind of flustered them, especially. Ole Miss got beat up by Tennessee. They beat Florida. They lost to LSU. Oh my gosh. I don't know what to think of Mississippi. Yeah. These and their defensive rebounding is just ugh. They could block shots at times. just to be nice, man, we'll put them in the one-win category. There's gonna be a bunch of teams this middle tier. I'm trying not for that to be the case. Here's an interesting one here, folks. Cornell. Cornell's getting my attention now. And I mean, it's just as a recent, like within the last day or two, because they're now in the bracketology. And yes, we should talk about a couple of Ivy League teams, because the Ivy League always seems to cause chaos a little bit in the tournament. Like, we'll talk about Princeton later. I'm trying to find Cornell on 99th, but their offense is where it's at, okay? Like, Cornell has the best 2-point percentage efficiency. Cornell faced Baylor. They lost by 19. They almost beat Syracuse. But right now, I'm not sure if they're going to win a game. I'm leaning towards no. But if they can match up against the right team, I don't know. They just beat Princeton by 15 though, so it's a good win. It's a heck of a win for them. But I'm not sure about winning a game yet. I want to see a little bit more from them. I don't know why. I don't know. Some of these teams are just hard to figure out. Purdue. I'm so sick of Purdue, man. Here's the thing, man. Purdue. I mean, they got a team that technically should be a Final Four team on paper, but man, can we trust him? Can we trust him? I don't know. Zach Edey, I think, was getting away with some things last night against Northwestern. That game was ridiculous. I didn't watch it, but oh my gosh. Check the free throw stats out if you know what I'm talking about. There was some frustration when people talk about the fouling. Purdue's got a wide range of possibility, either from not winning to winning the whole thing. I mean, I feel like they might end up pulling a Virginia and winning the whole thing, but second weekend or not, what is it going to be? They cannot get over the hump, man. They just can't. Braden Smith's been playing a lot better. I hate to do this, but we'll put him there. Final Four, screw. I'm just going to put him somewhere, because at this point, Purdue is long overdue for a Final Four appearance. I'm not sure on the national championship. We'll see. Butler's been a decent team. They've been giving teams some fits. They beat Texas Tech. They almost beat UConn. They play at Creighton tomorrow. I have the Creighton shirt on. We'll talk about them later. Actually, here pretty soon. I'm not sure if Butler's going to make the tournament, man. I don't know. They got to win out. They do. I'm trying to find them here on... Like, Butler historically, of course, is a good tournament team, but can they... I mean, can they win out though? That's the question, because they're going to have to win some of these games, especially down the stretch in a tough Big East conference, mind you. Butler, 47th in offensive efficiency. They're kind of on the outside looking in. I believe. I think Butler is going to miss the tournament. I hate to do this. San Diego State made the national championship last year. They still have a good defense, as we know, Brian Dutcher as head coach. Of course, this is a really good coach team, especially defensively, as we know. I don't know. They don't have the same playmakers. I think San Diego State can win one game, but I'm not really putting them any higher than that. That's like their ceiling, in my opinion. Arizona. This Arizona team is hard to figure out because they've lost to Washington State. They've lost to Stanford. Washington State might be a little better than we think, though. I'm not sure. We'll see. Yeah, well, oh man, I don't see Arizona. You're gonna get the version of them you expect, or you're just gonna have something that's so stupid. I don't know what it is with this team. Their 3-point shooting rate on here, according to T-Rank, is just terrible. But the thing is, yeah, in the last few games, they've had more games where their 3-point shooting's been really off. I'm going to put them in the second weekend tier. I can't put them in the Final Four, man. I just can't do it. No way. I think this is TCU. It's really hard to tell, but I have Grand Canyon here, too. They literally have the same damn letters almost. TCU, I think, might be overachieving a little bit, but they could score a lot. I mean, another team that could score a lot. I don't think they have really the necessary capable defense. Offensive rebounding efficiency is on the higher end. TCU, could they win another? Could they be a team like last year? They win a game. Last year, though, if they would have had Andy Lepkin, I think they would have went on a run. TCU, man. Oh, I hate to do this, man. I'm not sure if they're going to win this year. I'm not sure if they're going to. Don't know if they're going to win a game or not. I'm not sure in the tournament. Yeah, we'll give it to them. We'll give it at least one. Texas A&M. Now, I'm sure some people are going to be like, well, A&M isn't going to do anything because of blah, 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 recent events. Listen, I get it. A&M has been a bit disappointing. They had the injury issue with Radford. I think A&M could still be that team where they could do some damage. They have the best offensive rebounding efficiency in the country as of right now, among the best. But their shooting metrics, goodness gracious, they're awful. But the defense, especially the 2-point percentage, is better. I don't know what to make of this Texas A&M team. Like, they have some games where they've already scored a bunch, and then other games where they're just kind of like, ugh. If they put it together, I think A&M has a pretty decent ceiling. I really do. You know what? That's why I'm gonna still put them in the second weekend. I think Texas A&M can still make a run. Texas Tech, I think just because of their guard play alone, I have to put them in the one-game region. I do, because the thing is with Texas Tech, they have that toughness from Grant McCaslin as coach, and he had some nice years at North Texas. Unfortunately, I don't think he ever won a tournament game with North Texas, but still, Texas Tech's got a decent collection of guys, and they're doing better than I thought they were going to this year. So, Texas Tech, definitely another surprise this year a little bit. But then again, though, the culture of Texas Tech, then again, not too shocking, but Tech, I'm trying to find them here on T-Rank, and I can't find their freaking name. Shouldn't be hard. Oh, 31. Yeah, they're 11th in offensive efficiency. They are capable, especially because of Pop Isaacs. Texas, they're one of a few teams that, like Purdue, they have a crazy range of potential outcomes. They could either make the tournament, not win, or they can actually make the Final Four. I feel like it's been like Max Asmus has been. I feel like he's been among the most consistent players on the team, even when they're not doing well. I don't know, man. Shudrick hasn't been doing as consistent. Dessou, of course, was hurt for the first part of the year. Shudrick too has had some injury issues. Oh God, Tyrese Hunter, I feel like has taken a step back. I don't know. I have no idea, man. This Texas team has been so underwhelming. And the whole Rodney Terry thing with horns down. That whole thing is ridiculous. They need to grow up. The fact that I'm even having to question this team is ridiculous. But here we are, folks. We're doing it. Texas has... Again, I cannot find their name. Yeah, 29th in efficiency. Across the board, they don't have, like... In terms of free throw shooting, that could be a problem for them, but... Yeah, I'm going to put Texas... Recent events, I'm just going to put them here. Maybe win a game or two. Creighton. I am a little worried about Creighton. Now, here's the thing. Creighton's defensive numbers have been going up, okay? Which is a good sign. But then again, though, can you trust those numbers? Can you trust them? Because Creighton has one of the most efficient field goal percentages in the country. But then again, though, their three-point shooting has been, at times, a bit cumbersome. Was it cumbersome? Did I just say cumbersome? Goodness gracious. They don't force a lot of turnovers. They don't block. They're better at blocking and stealing. I could tell you that much. Creighton, to me, we're putting them in the second weekend because I feel like this is a team that can make it to the back to the second weekend. If this was in November, they would be in the Final Four off the first couple games. But then again, though, silly to sample it like that. Creighton, though, they've had, yeah, I don't know. They have the capability of being very dangerous. Ashworth's been getting more comfortable in the offense. They'll figure it out. They just need to get a little bit tougher, too, especially on the interior, which that's why they have Shireman taking a step up. Alexander's been a great guy on their team, too. USC, pretty simple. They're missing a tournament. I put them in here only because they were ranked in the preseason, and it is so sad what's happened. Like, probably should have looked at them more in depth. When you look at their roster, is it that impressive? Sort of in some areas, but everything else doesn't really click. So, yeah, Collier, you're out. I mean, whole thing's a mess. Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon's a pretty good team. Grand Canyon is a very good team. They are ranked in T rank. Hold on, they're ranked 78th. What's interesting is their defensive efficiency is better than their offensive. I thought they would, like, they're good. They have a good free throw shooting efficiency. I think Grand Canyon can pull off some upsets in this tournament. I'm gonna say one game. They're gonna eventually win their first tournament game. Bryce Drew's been doing an amazing job at Grand Canyon. Utah is a weird team to me. I don't know what to think of them. I feel like they're kind of like Ole Miss, but Ole Miss has the better guards, I think. Then again, though, I mean, like Utah can, I don't know, man. Like with Levering and Carlson. I don't know, man. This is not a team I feel like they can make a big run. Their size could be a problem for other teams that don't normally see it, though. Like, they can be an issue for sure. But I don't know if Utah's capable, man, of pushing it, man. They're not a great defense in terms of forcing turnovers. From the percentage aspect of it, the efficiency, the 3-point defenses, you know. But they do play at a faster tempo. I don't know, man. Again, another team that could win one game, possibly. I almost want to put them at 0 wins. I do. Indiana State's been playing fairly well too this season. I mean, they haven't made the tournament in a while, man. They're a pretty good team, actually. Pretty impressive offense. Very impressive offense, by the way. With hindsight of things. I think they could push it, but give me them. Put them in the win column. Wisconsin, I'll be generous and put them here in the second weekend. But the thing is, I do worry about the fact that they don't have many guys to turn to if they lose. Like if Store's having an off night, or if someone else is. I'm not really sure about Wisconsin. They're taking advantage of a weak Big Ten. I mean, some of the results though have shown that they can be tough. Like they beat Marquette at home. Marquette's been a little bit fishy. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know about Wisconsin. Appalachian State. They're on here because they beat Auburn, and their defensive efficiency is pretty high. Now, with the offensive efficiency being low, usually that doesn't really help necessarily much, but they could slow down a game enough and kind of really work their way. They can do some things. You know, it's like with St. Peter's. You know, St. Peter's offensive efficiency was so bad, but their defensive efficiency numbers were, I think, top 40. Not saying they're St. Peter's, but I'm just saying, though, like, they could cause some issues. But I don't know if they're going to win a game. Depends on who they're facing. Seems like these 5 seats have consisted of teams that could be ripe to be picked off, especially. But I'll put them here in no wins at the moment. They could. That's possible. I'm tedious with the. Besides, I want to fill that tier a little bit more. Boise State. I definitely think Boise State can win a game. They're 0-9 in the tournament, but their roster, honestly, pretty impressive with in some spots. Like Max Rice is just. He showed it against New Mexico last night. I thought Their interior presence was great. They handled the ball well against a New Mexico team that steals and blocks the shots more than any other team, I think, from what I've heard. But man, like Boise State was so in control, can win in a tough environment. They may make a push. This could be finally the year Boise State does it. That Mountain West Conference is something special. It is. Seton Hall. I'm not big on Seton Hall. I think they might have blew again. I think they kind of expended a bit much early on. I don't know. Not really sure about the Seton Hall team. Their three-point shooting metrics are garbage. But their offensive rebounding metric is pretty good. It's very good. Do they make the tournament though? That's the question. And I meant to pull up the bracketology, the latest ESPN bracketology. I'm going to do that right now while I'm thinking about this. I'm leaning towards they make the tournament but don't win. That's where I'm going to put them at right for a second before I move on to McNeese State. They're an interesting story, by the way. Seton Hall is one of the last four in. You know what? I actually think they're going to miss the tournament. I don't know, man. There's a lot of teams right behind there. I think they're going to. They could possibly overtake Seton Hall. McNeese State. Give me McNeese State and might win a game. This is a team that has a pretty solid defense. Pretty good defense, okay? Now, their quality of competition has been pretty low. That's what's concerning. They did beat VCU. They beat Michigan, though, but Michigan's having a pretty bad down year. If you heard that, I'm sorry. That was me passing gas. Wow. Very sorry about that, folks. But, yeah. McNeese, what in the heck are they at on here? Yeah, their defensive, like, it says here their defensive efficiency is 120th, but they limit teams to 64 points a game. But they had a few opponents in there where they're facing teams that are like, who are you? What school? The school? What? But, yeah, it says here McNeese State's best in three-point shooting percentage efficiency, but the rate is low. Oh gosh. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. I may come back to them in a second. Clemson. Clemson's a very I keep saying very. Clemson's kind of strange because they have a pretty solid offense with PJ Hall and company. They got some guys who can shoot the ball well. I'm not sure about them, man. I don't know. This is a team that just doesn't force a heck of a lot of turnovers, according to this turnover defense efficiency. One game. Probably thinking right now, like, why? What are you doing, dude? Colorado? Colorado, to me, I think is a little overlooked. Then again, though, they have had a rough ride in the Pac-12 so far. But I feel like this Colorado team can pull off some damage in the tournament if they get the right matchup. Like they're right now in the last four in. They're one of the last four in. They lost to Florida State, made no sense. They lost to Colorado State. They had lost 3 straight there from Arizona State, and Cal. Lost to Washington State. They've lost them. They split the season series with them. They beat Washington twice, both in a higher scoring affair. Give me them to win a game. I was almost going to put them in the second weekend because I think their roster is honestly pretty. I think they got they could have some decent. The playmakers they have, they could pull it off. We'll see, but their defense is not really that nice in terms of metrics. Providence, I think is I think they're like Providence is currently one of the last 4 buys. Now, I think his name's Devin Carter. Carter had really played well last night against UConn. This Providence team, they played gritty, but I'm not sure if they're going to make it. I don't know if they're going to make it. I'm leaning towards they missed the tournament. I guess maybe make the tournament but not win. I think they're borderline going to miss it, actually. They might be one of the first teams to miss it. Florida Atlantic. Florida Atlantic, you don't know what you're getting from this team. One night they look really good. Next night they look terrible. Florida Atlantic has a wide range of potential. Or there's a wide range of um, outcomes. Florida Atlantic, I'm not sure if they're gonna. Yeah, man. This updated bracketology, they're slated to face the winner of Nebraska and Boise State, and I think they could lose to both of them, honestly. Florida Atlantic, the way they're playing right now, I don't know if they're gonna win a game, man. I hate to put another team in this tier, man, but I'm gonna have to do it. Iowa State. Iowa State's got a really good defense. I mean, Taman Lispy's been really leading the way with this team. But my issue is Iowa State actually really legit because they've been playing well at home. They've struggled a little bit on the road. Is it going to really translate to the tournament, or is Iowa State just kind of more of just a general home team? It's tough to say because they play such physical defense. But like if you look at the results here, and like I said, I'm trying to make this video faster. Try to make it as fast as possible. I'm not trying to hold you guys too long. If this thing can load up faster. Here we go. Iowa State. So like they've lost they've even lost. I don't know if these games were at home or not, but they've lost to Virginia Tech. They've lost to Texas A&M. But then when they get into conference play, they lose at Oklahoma, can beat Houston at home, but can't beat BYU on the road. Barely beat TCU on the road. This is why I'm thinking Iowa State might just win one game in this tournament. Like, the results matter. Results matter here with Iowa State, in my opinion, especially. Marquette's second weekend team. I don't know about Final Four, man. Shaka Smart. Is this going to finally be the year we make the Sweet 16 or get out of the first weekend? Because he hasn't been in the second weekend since 2011. Oh my gosh. I feel like Marquette, like they have Kolek. Kolek's amazing. Possibly the best guard in the country. And Iguodala, that 1-2 punch. But can everyone else kind of gather around? Because I felt like they kind of had that little bit of a limitation last year. Like when you saw Marquette, Michigan State's guards were able to outdo Marquette's guards because Marquette's guards weren't as solid as Michigan State's, I would say. I don't know, that's kind of really crazy to say, but Marquette, if they could play some really sound defense and really play well, fluid enough, I think this Marquette team can make a run. Memphis. Oh my gosh, what is happening to this team? What? You lose to Rice? You lost to Rice? It's like, did they throw a pot of hot rice on the court or something? What is happening to this team? They might as well dump hot rice over that stupid ass tiger stripe over the middle of the court. That just seems like it was randomly placed there. Oh my gosh. Listen, I've seen this before of teams where if I hope for a team, they start the season well, they go down into a pit of obscurity for a while, and then all of a sudden, near or at the tournament, start a tournament, they start really nailing it when you least expect it. I'm still putting Memphis because of their talent, and Memphis is currently a projected. They're projected to currently be a 9 seed. Oh man, what in the world? Okay, we'll just do this to make it easier. Win one game. Whoop-de-doo. Michigan State. Michigan State, I don't think it's even in this bracket. Are they? Are they even in this bracket? Yeah, they're an 8 seed on here. Goodness gracious, dude. What is happening to this team? Like, I don't know. Just put them in a one game. I don't care. Mississippi State. Mississippi State's a intriguing one because their slow down defense and with Tolu Smith, in them. Mississippi State could cause some issues. They could. They really like to slow the game down. They do. Could they be a potential dark horse to make a run? It's possible. Um, it really is. Now, Mississippi State did just lose to Ole Miss, but that was a shootout of a game because Ole Miss can really pick up the pace. And they were at Ole Miss too, so it seems like the road teams this year have really been struggling. Like Mississippi State on the road has not been good. Has not been good at all. So could they win? I don't know that. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure if they can. Because of their road struggles, I'm gonna say they don't win a game as of right now. Kentucky. Kentucky, we're just gonna their defense, their lackluster defense is gonna kill them in the end. Um I really think Kentucky could lose in the first round because of their really bad defense. And if their freshmen aren't really on point, yikes. The roster alone screams deep run, but you just can't go with that all the time, can you? No, you can't. So then again, I don't know what to do. Because some teams are going to get flustered by Kentucky, but then again, though, roster alone, I have to put. This is risky. I'm going to put them in the second weekend. Washington State. Washington State is currently on the outside looking in. First four out. I think they can make the tournament if they keep playing the way they do. I'm gonna say they may win a game. They may win a game. Some of the things I'm looking at with them, I kind of don't mind. I don't know much about their team, but the way I'm looking at, some of the metrics I kind of like a little bit, but the defensive turnover thing, turnovers while on defense, not the stat I kind of want to see, or the tempo, they really slow things down. Maybe win a game. Depends on the matchup if they make it. Northwestern, I think Northwestern's solid. Like, Boo Buie is just great. Tremendous guard, by the way, but I don't know, man. I have no idea. Just when you think you want to kind of steer away from Northwestern, but then again, though, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what you're going to get. I need to really get through the rest of this list because I'm really running out of time here. They can score, though, man. They also may win a game. Ohio State, the way they're playing right now, missed the tournament. Princeton's been a little bit shaky. The way they've been shaky, they may make a tournament, but right now I don't know if they're going to win a game. St. Mary's may make the tournament but not win. Because they've been also shaky too. Like, they've had some issues early in the season, like really serious issues. South Carolina, very sneaky team. Defensively, they're good. They're almost in here, but I'm going to put them here. Utah State, I'm a little weary of Utah State. They have a great, they've been playing very well, but are they actually really that good? I don't know. Like, they are 19-2 or whatever, and they're a projected 6th seed, but are they really actually that good? That's my question. Because when you look at their efficiency numbers on here, I mean, they're very solid across the board for the most part. So they lost to Bradley on the road. Again, they're only they're only 2 losses. I mean, they have a good number of assists per game. Yeah, we'll give them the nod. Villanova, miss. Virginia, miss. Simple. Villanova is a very when you think they're gonna do it, they just can't win the games. Virginia, too stupid on offense. UConn, I feel like UConn could be the first defending national champion to make the Sweet 16 or further since Duke did it in 2016. They still got a great cast of guys. Klingon's been playing well down low. Stephon Cass has been playing really well lately. Great freshman player, great freshman piece. Gonzaga, I hate to do this, but I think Gonzaga's going to miss the tournament. I think they will. New Mexico, New Mexico is a sleeper in my opinion. Like I don't want to call them sleeper, but they have a right. Like if they can just play better, like if Jalen House, for instance, plays better, they would have probably won against Boise State. That's it. I think it's one of the bigger differences. But their defense got dominated last night, and their defense in general of stopping scoring not great in terms of just slowing down scoring wise, but their blocks and steals are. I think they can win a game. Kansas, the final team to talk about. Kansas is a team to me that very overrated. They're very overrated. But given the fact they have McCullough and KJ Adams and Harris, we'll just put them in the second weekend. But I almost want to put them in just one game. There's my tier. Some of it's a little bit wacky. I try to make it as more, try to make it as reasonable as possible. Hope you guys liked the video. Hope you guys enjoy this, of course. Thank you guys for watching. I will be doing a bracketology video sometime next week for sure. We gotta get back onto that because kind of keep you guys updated on who I kind of like as we can really narrow things down from there. And before you know it, it's gonna be March Madness. I got other bigger videos coming up in the near future. Stay tuned for that. I'm not going to name anything yet with that, but other than that, hope you guys take care. Keep watching some great basketball. Stay safe, and I wish you the best of whatever you're doing right now or whatever you may be going through in life. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you guys in the next one.